Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Art Smart. This is Kevin Hogan. Today, we're going to be talking about Tom and Jerry. This is the Spotlight Collection, Volume 3. Now, I have shown you Tom and Jerry Volume 1 before, and I haven't shown you Volume 2 because unfortunately I just haven't had a chance to look at it. But I did rent this from my local library, and I wanted to share a little bit about this DVD set with you today. Now, this is a set that a lot of people have stayed away from because there has been some negative press about it. There are a lot of people that complained about the fact that cartoons were changed from the originals in order to take away some racial things that were in the original cartoons. And I could understand why those things were removed from these cartoons, but I can also understand why some fans are not so happy about that. There are also people that complained about changes that were made in the soundtrack, and there are also people that have complained just in general that these films did not come with enough special features in order to really justify the cost for a lot of people that are going to be purchasing this, which is usually collectors of classic cartoons. There was a lot of negative press about it, so I wanted to check into it myself and see if these things are accurate. All of it's pretty much true, guys. Unfortunately, when it comes to the Tom and Jerry set here, they did change quite a bit of the originals in a number of cartoons in order to take out what is considered racially insensitive, and also to take out some of the vocalizations that could be considered racially insensitive and replacing them with other dialogue. It's not something that I personally am a fan of. I do understand to a degree why they would choose to do that. Tom and Jerry cartoons are very popular all over the world. And in fact, in some places of the world, they're more popular than Walt Disney or the Warner Brothers cartoons. In other places in the world when we're talking about classic Hollywood animation. So this is a moneymaker, and they want to make sure that they're not upsetting people that they don't need to upset. So to a degree, I can understand it. However, people that are being frustrated about this have a point. Larger problems, though, for me is that despite the fact that they have made those changes, they haven't done other things in order to make us feel like we're getting our money's worth. There are many issues that I have with this particular set. One, there are really no commentaries to speak of, which is one of the easiest ways for people to give additional information and to provide a special feature on cartoon discs like this. It's kind of unacceptable, in my opinion, to not have any cartoon commentaries. You can't find one person to give some commentary. Uh, Otherwise, for special features, it's a little frustrating in that, unfortunately, they did Cat and Mouse, The Tale of Tom and Jerry, which is a documentary which is very similar to the one that was on the very first disc of the the very first set. It's a documentary that it's not a bad one. It's a fairly lengthy documentary, about a half an hour long, and it does give quite a bit of information about Hanna-Barbera. However, it's a repeat of a lot of the same information that they gave on the first set. There was a brief period there of less than 5 minutes where they started talking about some of the animators that were working on the series, and that was kind of cool to hear about the animators that were working on Tom and Jerry. And I wish they would have actually focused in on them a little bit more and told me a little bit more about those animators and how they did what they did and why they did what they did. Unfortunately, they jump off that so quickly and they get back on the Hanna-Barbera, which they've already talked about in other discs. Now, I realize this is part of the Hanna-Barbera Diamond collection here, so I guess they're just trying to focus in on who is the star, Hanna-Barbera. But I think it's really disappointing that they really lost an opportunity here to give us some additional information and to really make purchasing this disc feel worthwhile. If I had purchased this, I would feel like I'm being gypped because they're duplicating a lot of information in the documentary. The one cartoon on here that's a additional special feature is The Karate Guard, which is a cartoon that was created in 2005, and it was the last one by Joe Barbera. It's a bad cartoon. It's just really not a very well done cartoon. Unfortunately, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, I think, in another video, because I think it's a good example of what makes classic cartoons, when done well, so great, and what newer cartoons a lot of times are failing on. But it's, in general, it's just not a very good cartoon. So in general, there's not a whole lot to really look at for this disc. The cartoons themselves are just kind of running out the Tom and Jerry series, and it's kind of the bottom of the barrel, because towards the end of the series, they really were running out of ideas. The special features aren't very good. They changed a bunch of information. I mean, a bunch of animation and sound effects and vocalizations in the cartoons. The documentary isn't giving you any new information, so I really don't know what to recommend to you if you pick this up. Really, this is just for completionists, if you just are really trying to have as many cartoons as possible in your collection. But it's poorly done, and it's definitely not worth your money. Hopefully this makes you a little bit more art smart, and you'll come back for further cartoon reviews. Bye-bye, everybody.